So I went to bed. I would go back. I went to bed that night. But it was another time where, I mean, my sister, my older sister, she was manipulative, and she manipulated us into doing a lot of things that we really didn't want to do. Even if our brains told us, oh, that might not be safe, she would bully us to the point where we had to do it. If we didn't do it, we were getting bullied by her. I mean, this went for everything. If she wanted us to take her hair out, I remember one time she would get her hair done in, like, micro braids and things like that, and she made us help her take her hair out, right? Because if we didn't do it, she would make us feel bad about it. And so when she did that, I remember I was helping her take her hair out, and so I was helping her take her hair out, and I didn't really want to do it anyway, but of course you felt manipulated to do so, and if you didn't do it, it was like consequences. You would get hit, or you would get talked about, or you would made to feel bad about it. So anyway, I'm helping her take her hair out, and I made a mistake and kind of like pulled her hair. I didn't mean to do it, but she got pissed and she pulled my hair so hard it kind of like yanked my head down. And it's not really more so about what she did, but how it made me feel at the end of the day. Like, it really hurt my feelings, because how dare you? I'm trying to help you do something. I made a mistake, and you just you hit me, or you pull my hair to the point where you it's kind of all right. So think about being in a car accident, and or being like in the car, and then a sudden turn or move kind of like whips your neck back and forth. That's kind of like what she did to me. She kind of like yanked my head down where it was like it cracked a little bit, because of it was just like being pulled really fast. There was she got mad because I hurt her. I didn't mean to hurt her, but that's it is what it is. And then it was another time where she locked me in a treasure chest. And again, I didn't want to get in this treasure chest, but if I didn't get into the treasure chest, then she, of course, would do something, manipulate me into manipulate me by hurting me, or bullying me, talking about me. And I didn't want to be talked about. That was happening enough at school. So she made me get into this treasure chest, and she locked it. I think, if I can remember correctly, I think she told me she wasn't going to lock it, but her being deviant, she locked it, and I couldn't get out of it. And it was one of the worst experiences of my life. It was dark. I didn't have any room to move in. I was just stuck. And I cried. I did cry a lot. I don't remember telling my mom about it. There's a lot of things that I didn't tell my mom about, because my mom, she was mean, and she beat us a lot, and so she wasn't really like supportive, and she acted as if she was supportive. For example, when I was going through some of the bullying in school, and so there was never a time a year that I wasn't going through bullying. I think K through maybe second grade, but once I started to get older, I was being bullied all the time. But I remember being bullied, and I couldn't take it anymore, and I went home and I told my mom. I said, "Mom, I'm being bullied in school. I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to go to that school anymore." And she pretended to care. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And she even went as far as like trying to get me into a whole different school, which was like a whole hour away, and I didn't get into that school. Nothing came of it. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I went right back to school, and she pretended as if bullying just went away. There was no, "How you doing? You okay? I'm coming up there." It wasn't any of that. It was just, I felt like nothing. I felt like no one cared about me. because that's just how I felt, because obviously no one did care enough. My mom, she wasn't caring enough to go up to that school and raise some hell like I would have, and I did with my kids. And my older sister, she was being manipulative and bullying me and getting everybody else to join in. And again, I'm not saying that I didn't bully anybody. I'm not. And I did it because it was being done to me. And I did it because I didn't want it. I didn't want to be a part of it to begin with. But if I didn't do it, that means that I was being bullied. And I just had enough and I couldn't handle it anymore. It's just all the way up until college, and maybe even when I was in college, I just, I was bullied a lot, and over the years, it took its toll on my life. It took its toll on my self-esteem. Imagine waking up every day just feeling like no one loves you. Am I saying that my parents never told me that? I'm not saying that. I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. Because how can you feel loved when you're being beat all the time for mistakes you're making as a child? And you getting beat by your dad, you getting beat by your mom, you getting beat by your older sister, and then when you go to school, you being beat down verbally by, your peers. So it was a very, very difficult time and a very depressing time for me. But, I didn't start feeling the sadness and depression. I mean, I was sad. There were times where I would spend hours in the closet. I would lock myself in the closet and just cry, or I would just be off by myself, just sad, because that's how I felt on the inside. I felt empty. And we're talking about elementary school. We're talking about middle school. And we're talking about high school. Feeling that way almost every single day. It takes its toll on you. You don't even like yourself. Look in the mirror, you just look. You don't see a person, you just see a body. You don't feel alive. You don't feel loved. I had kids because I felt like they would be the only ones who loved me. Because I never felt it. I never felt like people just loved me for me. So, and we'll talk about that later, about, me having kids and all of that stuff. But that's one of the reasons why I decided to have my first child, because maybe I felt like maybe she'll love me. And I'll love her. Like I wanted to be loved. I'm gonna end it here because this is real hard for me. Because I can still feel it. I can still feel it. It's just, I feel empty. I just didn't have anybody. I didn't have people that cared enough about me to say, how are you? I love you. You're beautiful. My mom never told me I was beautiful. Instead, she used to favor my older sister, and she would take her everywhere she went with her, like if she was going out and stuff. So you can imagine a little girl knowing that your mom doesn't think you're beautiful because of what she's showing you. It's real hard. We'll talk about more of that, I guess, in another video. But if you're still listening, thank you so much. This is really hard. It's not easy, but thanks.